In 67 seconds, a financial crimes investigation into predatory lending would collapse 9 days after a $580,000 donation from the target company's CEO. The cameras were already rolling. The House Oversight Committee hearing room was silent, not tense yet, just waiting. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez sat 4 seats from the chairman, a single blue folder closed in front of her, no reading glasses, no notes visible. FBI Director nominee Kash Patel sat at the witness table, hands folded, microphone adjusted, water glass positioned within reach. This was supposed to be a confirmation hearing. Standard questions about qualifications, past experience, commitment to impartial law enforcement. The gallery held maybe 70 people, reporters with laptops open, congressional staffers, checking phones, C-SPAN cameras locked on the witness table. The overhead lights created sharp shadows across the polished wood. A digital clock on the wall read 3:47 p.m. Ocasio-Cortez's turn came without warning. Mr. Patel, are you familiar with FBI case file FC 2022? Patel's eyes moved to her. His expression stayed neutral. Representative, I've overseen numerous investigations during my time in various government positions. I'd need to review the specific file too. I'm not asking you to review anything. I'm asking if you know what case file FC 2022-5518 refers to. Pause. 3 seconds. Patel's right hand shifted slightly on the table. I'm familiar with the FBI's case numbering system, but I can't speak to every individual case without proper context. Ocasio-Cortez opened the blue folder. She pulled out a single page. This case file was opened in March. It involved a financial crimes investigation into a fintech company called Rapid Cash Solutions. The company was under investigation for alleged predatory lending practices, targeting low-income communities. Are you familiar with it now? If this case was opened in 2022, it would have been before my current role, so I'd have limited direct knowledge of the investigation's details. You weren't director then, but you were serving in the Trump administration's Defense Department at the time, and you had regular briefings on financial crimes investigations related to your portfolio. Patel's jaw tightened slightly. Those briefings covered a wide range of matters. I can't recall every specific case from several years ago. Let me help you remember. Ocasio-Cortez pulled another document from the folder. Rapid Cash Solutions offered payday loans and installment loans with interest rates averaging. They targeted neighborhoods in Detroit, Philadelphia, and Houston where the median household income was below. She set the page down flat on the desk. The FBI opened this investigation because there were allegations that the company was structuring loans to avoid state usury laws and using deceptive marketing to prey on people who had no other options. Patel reached for his water glass. He drank, set it down carefully. Predatory lending is a serious concern. If the FBI was investigating those practices, I'm sure they followed appropriate protocols. They did follow protocols. Ocasio-Cortez's voice stayed level. They collected evidence, bank records showing loan structures designed to circumvent state caps, internal company emails discussing how to target the most financially vulnerable zip codes, witness testimony from borrowers who were misled about repayment terms. She turned a page. By June 2023, the case agent filed a prosecution recommendation. The evidence package was complete. The U.S. Attorney's Office was reviewing it for criminal charges. Do you remember any of this now? I don't have specific recollection of the case status in mid-2023 without reviewing the files. Ocasio-Cortez pulled another document. This is an email from the FBI's Financial Crimes Section to the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan, dated June 19, 2023. It reads, and I'm quoting directly, Rapid Cash case file ready for prosecution, recommending federal charges for wire fraud and RICO violations based on pattern of deceptive practices across state lines. Patel's hands remained folded, but his fingers interlaced more tightly. If a prosecution recommendation was made, that decision would have gone through multiple levels of review at both the FBI and DOJ. It did go through multiple levels. Ocasio-Cortez didn't look down at the folder for 3 months. Then something changed. She pulled a thin, stapled document from the folder. On September 14, 2023, the case status was changed from prosecution pending to administratively closed. No charges filed. Investigation ended. The reason listed, insufficient evidence to proceed. But you just said the evidence package was complete and recommended for prosecution. How does a case go from prosecution ready to insufficient evidence in 3 months? That determination would have been made by career prosecutors based on their assessment of the evidentiary standards required for conviction. Ocasio-Cortez leaned forward slightly. Not aggressively, just present. Here's what happened in those 3 months. She placed another page on the desk. On July 12, 2023, you attended a private event in Washington, D.C., a tech industry fundraiser. One of the attendees was Marcus Chen, the CEO of Rapid Cash Solutions. Patel's breathing pattern changed. Slightly slower, more controlled. I attend numerous industry events in my professional capacity. I can't recall every individual I may have encountered at such gatherings. You don't remember meeting the CEO of a company under active FBI investigation? I don't recall a specific conversation with that individual at that particular event. No. Ocasio-Cortez pulled a photograph from the folder. She held it up, the projection screen behind Patel filled with the image. It showed Patel and another man in business attire shaking hands, both smiling. The caption at the bottom read, Tech Forward DC, July 12, 2023. That's you. That's Marcus Chen. You're shaking hands. Patel's eyes moved to the screen, then back to Ocasio-Cortez. Shaking hands at a public event doesn't constitute a substantive meeting or discussion about pending legal matters. I agree. Ocasio-Cortez set the photo down, but here's what else happened. She opened another section of the folder on August 3, 2023. 3 weeks after this photo was taken, Marcus Chen's company made a $580,000 contribution to a tech industry lobbying group called Digital Innovation Alliance. She looked up. You were a senior advisor to that organization. You received consulting fees from them. Is that correct? I've worked with various industry groups in an advisory capacity. Yes. The Digital Innovation Alliance paid you $140,000 in 2023 for consulting services. Patel's hands unlaced, rested flat on the table. Consulting work is standard for professionals with expertise in technology and national security policy. And Marcus Chen's company donated $580,000 to the same organization that was paying you. 9 days before the Rapid Cash investigation was closed. That's a misleading characterization. I had no operational role in that organization's fundraising, and I certainly didn't have any involvement in decisions about specific FBI cases. Ocasio-Cortez pulled one more document. This is an internal email from the Digital Innovation Alliance, obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request, dated August 10, 2023. It's from the Alliance's executive director to the Board of Advisors, which includes you. She read from the page, pleased to report major new funding commitment from Rapid Cash, $580,000 to support our regulatory advocacy efforts. Special thanks to advisors who helped facilitate industry relationships. Patel's jaw tightened. I don't recall that specific email, and even if I received it, it doesn't demonstrate any connection to the FBI's investigative decisions. You received an email about a $580,000 donation from a company under FBI investigation. 9 days later, that investigation was closed. And you're telling this committee there's no connection. I'm saying that FBI case closure decisions are made by career prosecutors and investigators based on the merits of the evidence, not by political interference or outside influence. Ocasio-Cortez closed the folder slowly. Let me tell you what the evidence shows. Rapid Cash Solutions charged 347% interest to people making less than $35,000 a year. The FBI built a prosecution-ready case. Then the CEO met you at an event. 3 weeks later, his company gave $580,000 to an organization, paying you $140,000. 9 days after that, the case was closed. She looked directly at Patel. The people who were exploited by those loans, they got nothing. No charges, no restitution, no accountability. But Marcus Chen's company is still operating, still offering loans at 47% interest. Patel didn't respond. The room was completely silent. 15 seconds passed. 20. His face remained neutral, but his breathing was visible. Shallow, controlled. Ocasio-Cortez gathered her papers, not rushed. Methodical. I'm voting no on your confirmation. She stood, and I'm referring this matter to the Office of Government Ethics for investigation into potential conflicts of interest and to the Justice Department Inspector General for review of the rapid cash case closure. The chairman's gavel fell once. Patel sat motionless at the table. His hands stayed flat. His water glass sat half empty. He didn't stand, didn't gather his folder, just sat there under the lights as the hearing moved to the next member's questions. The photograph of the handshake was still on the projection screen. The $580,000 donation was documented. The case closure was confirmed, and 67 seconds of questioning had connected every piece in a timeline that ended with a predatory lender walking free.